developments as conversations around a ceasefire continue, and of course military action in the Gaza Strip also continue. But we stay in the region, and the Israeli military has said that it has intercepted a missile that was launched from Yemen towards Israel. Sirens were activated across central Israel following the launch of the projectile. According to Israel's local media, a second missile from Yemen was also attempted but failed to launch. Following this, the Ben Gurion International Airport of Israel has reportedly halted landings and takeoffs earlier this month. The ballistic missile launched by the Iran-backed Houthis hit the perimeter of the same airport, damaging a road and a vehicle and causing air traffic to stop for hours. Yemen's Houthis have continued to fire missiles at Israel in what they say is solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza, although they have agreed to halt attacks on US ships. Israel has carried out strikes in response, including one on May the 6th that damaged Yemen's main airport in Sana'a and killed several people. From the Middle East, we now head to North America, and a deadly bomb blast has rocked Palm Springs, California on Saturday morning, killing 1 and injuring 4 people near a fertility clinic. The FBI is calling it an intentional act of terrorism. The explosion hit the parking lots of American reproductive centres, damaging several nearby buildings. Here is how an employee at the fertility clinic described the incident.
Down from our break, and we were, assessing our patients, making sure they're okay. When we heard this loud noise, I shook all of our building. Our patients were scared. We actually thought something had hit our building, and then I heard some shattering, and I came outside to check. It was our building next to us. All of the windows shattered. Thankfully, we were okay. Our patients were okay.
Akil Davis from the FBI said investigators will determine if the attack was domestic or international terrorism. Palm Springs Police Chief Andy Mills confirmed the blast caused widespread destruction and was likely deliberate. Let's listen in to Akil Davis.
This was an intentional act of terrorism. As our investigation will unfold, we will determine if it's an international terrorism or domestic terrorism. Let me be clear. This was probably one of the largest bombing investigations that we've had in Southern California. It's on scale of the Aliso Obeo bombing in Orange County.
Well, authorities have identified a person of interest but are not actively searching for a suspect. The identity of the person killed remains unknown. US Attorney General Pam Bondi called the bombing unforgivable, adding that federal agencies are working to uncover the motive. Despite the damage, the clinic said its lab and reproductive materials remain safe. No staff were injured. California's Governor Gavin Newsom has been briefed and pledged full support for the investigation. Moving on now, protests have intensified in Libya's capital Tripoli, with around 500 people taking to the streets for a second day, demanding Prime Minister Abdulhamid Dbeibah's resignation. This comes just days after deadly clashes between armed groups left at least 8 dead. Let's listen in to some of the protesters.
نحن الليبيين اللي موجودين هنا في الميدان ندفع ايدينا الى السلم والى انهاء هذه الحكومه، سواء الجسم اللي موجود في الغرب او موجود في الشرق. نحن نسعى الى تكوين جسم موحد هدفه يخدم الشعب الليبي اللي موجود.
فهذه الحكومتين يجب عليهم ان تسقط هذه الحكومتين ليرتاح الشعب الليبي، لأن الفساد كثر أكثر يعني ما تتصور، يعني مش معقولة توصل درجة هي والشعب الليبي يقعد يعاني كل عام أحرف من عام.
Well, in a televised address, Dbeibah said eliminating militias remains an ongoing project. He warned against corruption and blackmail, saying militias had become too powerful, even controlling banks and abusing civilians. He called on armed groups to align with the state institutions or be sidelined. He also admitted to a shared mistake over the Tripoli violence and urged tribal leaders to support state efforts to end militia rule. Meanwhile, several ministers have resigned in support of the protesters as the city grapples with political uncertainty. Pope Leo XIV, the first ever American pope, will be formally inaugurated as the 267th Pontiff today during a special mass in St. Peter's Square, attended by world leaders, royalty and tens of thousands of believers. Crowds are expected to cram the square and surrounding streets in Rome and the Vatican for formal celebration, which starts at 10 a.m. local time and includes the first ride in the white Pope-mobile by Pope Leo. Born in Chicago, the 69-year-old pontiff spent many years as a missionary in Peru and also has Peruvian citizenship, meaning that apart from being the first pope from the United States, he is also the first pope from Peru. The pope was elected on May the 8th after a short conclave of cardinals that lasted around 24 hours. He replaces Pope Francis, who was from Argentina and died on April the 21st after leading the church for 12 years. A host of world leaders and dignitaries are set to attend, including US Vice President J.D. Vance, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and heads of states from various other countries. Many European royals will also be in the VIP seats near the main altar, including Spanish King Felipe and Queen Letizia. Heading back to North America, and a Mexican Navy sailing ship has crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge, shearing off the top of its masts and injuring now 22 people, according to a statement from the Mexican Navy. Videos posted online showed the ship sailing under the bridge linking Brooklyn and Manhattan when its masts struck the structure, although New York Mayor Eric Adams confirmed at a press conference that 19 people were injured, including 4 seriously. All injuries occurred on the ship. The cause of the collision is under investigation. The Brooklyn Bridge, a suspension bridge completed in 1883 and a main link between Manhattan and Brooklyn, remains a major tourist attraction. Heading to Europe now, and UK Prime Minister